The sun beat down on the dusty frontier town of Red Hollow, its unpaved main street shimmering in the heat. Wooden storefronts leaned like tired men, and the wind carried the dry rattle of tumbleweeds along the road. Harlan Graves rode in slow, his hat tipped low, the brim shadowing a face carved from sun and hardship. His duster was torn at the hem, and the rifle slung over his back hinted at a man who'd seen trouble and likely caused it. He wasn't here for company. He was here for supplies and to be gone before nightfall. But as he reined his horse in near the water trough, a small voice called out, Mister, wait." Harlan turned. A girl no older than 8 stood there, skinny as a fence post, her blonde hair tangled, her dress patched and too big for her. She clutched a rag doll with one arm, the other hand shading her eyes. "Please," her voice cracked. "Please take my mom with you. She can cook. She's real good." Harlan frowned. "What are you talking about, kid?" She swallowed hard. "They're gonna take our house. The banker says if Mama don't marry Mr. Pike, we'll be out by sundown tomorrow. Mama don't want to, but she says we got no choice." Harlan's jaw tightened. Every man in town knew Ezra Pike, land grabber, loan shark, and the kind of snake who smiled while he stole your life. The girl's eyes filled with tears. "Please, mister. She won't leave by herself. But maybe if someone took her." Harlan had half a mind to walk away. He'd done his share of saving folks in his younger days, and it had only left scars. But there was something in the way the girl's chin trembled that cut past the armor he'd built. "What's your name, darling?" "Clara," she whispered. "Clara May Turner." He sighed, swinging off his horse. "All right, Clara May. Let's go meet your mama." Middle. Mary Turner was stirring a pot of stew when Clara burst into their tiny shack, dragging a tall stranger behind her. She looked up, startled, her brown eyes wide. "Clara, what?" "Mama," Clara blurted. This is Mr. Graves. He's gonna take you with him so you don't gotta marry Mr. Pike." Mary flushed crimson. "Clara, you can't just," she broke off, setting the spoon down. Her gaze locked on Harlan. "Who are you?" "Just a man passin' through," he said evenly. "Your daughter's worried about you." Mary's lips pressed into a line. She was strong, Harlan could see it in her stance, but there was a weariness in her face, a shadow that told of years of struggle. "I can't just leave," she said. "This is my home." "Home don't mean much if it's run by a man like Pike," Harlan replied. "The girl says he's pressuring you." Mary looked away. "He's been after my land ever since my husband died. The bank says we're behind. Pike offered to settle the debt if I married him. He'd keep a roof over Clara's head. But I know what kind of man he is. I'd sooner starve." "Starving ain't your only worry," Harlan said quietly. "Men like Pike don't take no kindly." A sudden knock at the door interrupted them. Mary's face drained of color. "That'll be him." Harlan stepped aside as Mary opened the door a crack. Ezra Pike stood there, slick hair, fancy vest, and a smirk that didn't touch his eyes. "Mary," he drawled, "I trust you've had time to reconsider. Sundown tomorrow, and that deed's mine if you ain't my wife." "I told you, Ezra," Mary said coldly. "I'm not." Pike's eyes shifted to Harlan, narrowing. "And who's this?" Harlan stepped forward, his height casting a shadow over the smaller man. "Name's Graves. Friend of the family." "Friend, huh?" Pike sneered. "Well, friend, I'd suggest you keep riding. This here's my business." Harlan's voice was like gravel. "Not anymore." Pike's smile turned poisonous. "You just bought yourself a world of trouble, stranger." When he left, slamming the door, Mary whirled on Harlan. "What did you just do?" Bought you a little time, he said simply. Now, you want me gone, I'll go. But if you let me stay till tomorrow, maybe we can figure a way to keep Pike from Tarkeen what's yours. Mary hesitated, torn between pride and desperation. Finally, she nodded. Fine. But I don't want bloodshed. Harlan said nothing, though he knew men like Pike didn't back down without it. That night, Harlan sat on the porch, cleaning his rifle. Mary stepped outside, her shawl wrapped tight. Clara's asleep, she said softly. She hasn't slept much these past weeks. Harlan nodded. Kids shouldn't have to worry about such things. Mary studied him in the moonlight. Why are you helping us? You don't even know us. He paused, the memories of another woman's desperate eyes flashing in his mind. Once, a long time ago, someone needed me. I didn't get there in time. Been riding ever since, trying to even the score. Mary didn't speak for a moment. Then, quietly, thank you. Something passed between them in the stillness, unspoken, but real. Climax. By morning, the town knew Harlan was staying with Mary Turner. Men whispered, women stared, and Pike's hired hands loitered near the general store. At noon, Pike came striding up the street with 3 men in tow. Mary stood on her porch, Clara clutching her skirt. Harlan was already in the yard, rifle resting against his shoulder. Last chance, Mary, Pike called, his voice carrying. Marry me, or I take your land. Mary's chin lifted. No. Pike's smirk faded. He turned to his men. Throw the drifter in the dirt. We'll settle this right now. The first man moved, and Harlan's rifle cracked. The bullet kicked up dust inches from his boots. Next step's in your gut, Harlan said calmly. The men froze. Pike's face twisted with rage. You think one gun's gonna stop me? I'll be back tonight. And when I come, you'll wish you'd never set foot in Red Hollow. He stormed off, his men following. Mary turned to Harlan, fear in her eyes. He'll bring more men. Then we'll be ready. That night, the wind howled over Red Hollow. Harlan positioned himself behind the woodpile, eyes scanning the darkness. They came just after midnight, 6 riders, their silhouettes black against the moonlit sky. Pike was at the front. The first shot rang out before they'd reached the porch. One man toppled from his saddle. Chaos erupted, shouts, gunfire, hooves pounding. Harlan moved like a shadow, firing, reloading, ducking behind cover. Pike's men scattered, but 2 pushed forward. One made it to the porch, grabbing Mary's arm, only to be knocked cold by a skillet she swung with all her might. When the dust settled, 3 men lay groaning in the dirt. Pike was gone, spurring his horse into the hills. Mary stood in the doorway, chest heaving. Harlan wiped the sweat from his brow. You all right? He asked. She nodded shakily. I'm now. Ending. By dawn, word had spread that Pike had fled Red Hollow for good. The banker, seeing trouble gone, quietly agreed to give Mary more time on her debt. Harlan saddled his horse, the road calling him onward. Clara ran out, clutching his coat. Don't go, she pleaded. Please. Harlan smiled faintly. I'm just a drifter, Clara May. Folks like me don't stay. Mary came to the porch, her eyes unreadable. You could, she said softly. He hesitated. Why would you want a man like me around? Because you're the kind of man who steps forward when it counts, she replied. And because Clara's right. I don't want you to go. The wind caught the brim of his hat as he looked from Mary to the open road, and back again.